Vinivasanaha Dadano Dustaram Shirishifani Rajam Shashikalam Pradipa Sarvesham Arunagiri Yogi Vijayate. The one who has the tripundri, the 3 lines of sacred ash on his forehead, the mark of sacred musk applied on his forehead, who is the wearer of a glittering garland, who wears a loin cloth on his radiantly glowing waist, who holds the unconquerable king cobra and crescent moon on his crown. Victory onto Arunagiri Yogeshwara, the illuminator of all beings. Arunachala Puranam, verse 1, Arunagiri Yogeshwara Vandanam. In this salutation, we offer our respects and gratitude to Arunagiri Yogeshwara, the embodiment of Paramashiva, who incarnated a few thousand years ago and is even today available to his ardent devotees in the gracious form of Arunachaleshwara, the presiding deity of the Arunachaleshwara temple of Tiruvannamalai. With this salutation, we remember and thus invoke Arunagiri Yogeshwara's presence as we recall the great Leela of his happening in the Avatar Leela, life of the Avatar. Enrich and enjoy, share and celebrate. Moving on to the next post of our beloved Guru from 22nd May. Paramashiva's blessings. For all my dear disciples and devotees, I will try to give you live coverage of Samadhi happenings in and around me. If you imagine cosmos as a big, huge air balloon, your body as a small ball inside that huge air balloon, I feel one with the huge air balloon, the cosmos, and feel like I can understand and do anything about the cosmos. But paradoxically, not able to move that small body I am having inside that huge cosmic balloon. I feel more I, me, mine, identities move with the cosmos. I feel like I can move anything in the cosmos, but paradoxically, not able to move anything in my body, even my feet or my hands. Absolute aloneness, other than I, nothing else exists, but no tiredness or boredom of loneliness. Now, the moment I sit in Padmasana, all the nadis settle down, including breathing, being falls into samadhi. No verbalization, no visualization. Absolute unclutching experience and pure consciousness experience of Mahakailasa. Paradoxically, if I stretch my body and lay down, I am able to open my eyes and recognize all the things happening around me. So, my doctor disciples who are taking care of me insist that I keep my body stretched. When I see somebody, I see their whole past, present, and future lives and patterns together. So, the way I relate with them looks illogical, irrational for them and even for others. I can also see past, present, and future. Time is just one more dimension of life, like length, breadth, and depth. Living the life as long as you want, or taking another body in any plane or any loka is just your free will. I feel more comfortable, very relaxed, and resting while sitting in Padmasana, wide awake, day and night, without knowing difference between day and night, than stretching my legs and lying down. Few more further medical test results have come. Medically, my body is completely fit and healthy, but still not able to eat one idli, not able to sleep even for 21 minutes continuously. This absolute silence and stillness of the snow covered mountains and oceans keeps me extremely energetic and alive. I lived a full, sincere life, integrated to my Guru Parampara, did extreme hard work. If my Guru Arunagiri Yogeshwara gives me more time, I will do more of his work. I am absolutely fulfilled about my past and extremely enthusiastic about my future. Anything my Guru wants to unfold. With my Guru's grace, I already made KAILASA, revival of enlightened Hindu civilization nation, happened with sovereign land. I have revealed my vision for furthering of revival and enriching through more than 20,000 hours of my satsangs, initiations, classes, which comes around 1.7 terabyte digital material in last 22 years from the year 2000. Books published with ISBN number 1250 in 52 international languages. Nithyanandapedia.org, gov.srikailasha.org. Still more than 700 manuals and books are unpublished, which will soon be published. I have initiated enough disciples to manifest Paramashiva's powers and created many Kailasa Vasis who will carry on this mission of Kailasa. So I neither have greed to live longer on this planet nor have hatred to leave this planet. I am absolutely fulfilled. Meditate on each of these descriptions about Samadhi and do ajapa japa or unclutching. You can also experience this as literally extension of one universe, Paramashiva. Enrich and enjoy, share and celebrate. Moving on to the next post of our beloved Guru, dated May 23rd, Paramashiva's blessings. One more live coverage for all of you from inside Samadhi. One of the literal meanings of the word Samadhi is Sama plus Adi, getting balanced or one with the origin. In multiple ways, my body, mind, being, emotions, muscle memory, bioenergy, all are getting balanced and again aligning back to the origin. Vata, Pitta, Kapha, all the three doshas of the body falls into Samatva. This means unnecessary fat and undigested food accumulated inside the body leaves the body in multiple forms and body gets completely detoxed and starts shining like the third eye of Paramashiva. That is why no external food or no regular sleep and no regular malajala, idagala, pingala, sushumna, three nadis get absolutely balanced. So breathing and dashapranas, the 10 actions of the circulation, air circulation inside the body, gets completely balanced, purified and detoxed. The karmas are purified, burnt and cleared. When I am established in this samadhi state fully, all those people who asked boons, prayers, wishes are granted. Energy from Paramashiva manifests intensely and fulfills everyone. That is the reason people find all the boons they asked me during the programs or during the prayers get fulfilled when I am in Samadhi. All the questions people asked are responded and answered inside them when I am in Samadhi because I am in oneness with all of them. Even the so called haters and enemies lose the strength to hate me and hold on to their enmity because I spread and being one even inside their soul. I see every being with all their past lives, present lives, and future possibilities and respond accordingly to each being. For every devotee, disciple who pours their time, treasure, talent, my love from Samadhi state is showered back on them. Love and attention from Samadhi state is pure energy and power. So when it is showered, nobody will be able to doubt or deny it. Every boon and blessings given during every program, every time, even in the past lives, are empowered, manifested, fulfilled now while I'm in Samadhi because through this body intensely, Paramashiva manifests and does all his activities he's supposed to do. It is literally like Paramashiva takes over my body, being completely, operates on high speed, intensity, and urgency, responds to single individual prayers to the largest happening in the cosmos. Many seekers, self denial, self hatred, SDHD is dissolved. Right knowledge is given, and the courage to follow the right knowledge is showered. That is the reason when I am in Samadhi, many devotees, disciples become so intense like Shivaganas and take powerful decisions towards manifesting Paramashivoham. Actually, building of the real Kailasa work happens million times more when I am in this deep Samadhi than doing regular activities like satsang, initiations, classes. The whole cosmos is churned. Sincere seekers are intensely attracted towards me, intensely beyond their societal patterns and conditions. During these intense samadhi periods, Paramashiva manifests in this being like dynamic dynamite diamond and destroys all the patterns and conditionings, ignorant conclusions supported by arrogance. Paramashiva loves, continues to love you so powerfully till all your doubts and denial about his love drops until you start enjoying the same love and oneness with Paramashiva. Enrich and enjoy, share and celebrate. Moving on to the Facebook post of our beloved Guru, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam, from 28th May. Paramashiva's blessings. For all my devotees and disciples, live coverage and revelation from Samadhi directly. Your mind's fear to look into the source of your problem, uh, the source of your thoughts, which is you, which is real you, your soul, is the real problem of all living beings. Whatever you may think about you, imagine about you, convinced about you, cognized about you, look into that fearlessly. All your problems will disappear. Neither your being, Atma, nor the being of Paramashiva, Paramatma, has any limited form. But your being, Atma, even though does not have any limited form, decides to associate with your body. It is reflecting as its form and as its own. Same way, Paramashiva decides to associate himself with Arunachala Hill to liberate all the beings who associate themselves with the body or any form. So, continuous remembrance of Arunachala Hill will make you realize neither your being, Atma, has a form, nor Paramashiva, Paramatma, has a form. This is what is meant by the word Smarnat Mukti Arunachalam. Just by remembrance, Arunachala liberates. Many scientific researches and studies done on the people who went to space and came back shows that their very DNA has started changing irreversibly. Same way, the great Hindu cosmic scientists, the rishis, discovered even if your being travels to the space parallel universes and comes back, your very DNA goes through a superconscious mutation irreversibly. This is what I am finding out now happening for me. Usually, our ancient rishis keep their physical bodies safely in a cave of high mountains or deep forests during their samadhi or travel to parallel multiverses. Because during the process of superconscious mutation of the DNA, the physical body becomes extremely soft and almost immobile and useless for all the external world activities. For me personally, even warm water feels too hot, and after bath, even if I try to wipe my body with towel, it feels like that towel is entering into my body. So I just let the body dry itself under the fan without using any towel to wipe or dry my body. Other than my Nitya Shiva Puja, body is not able to do any activity. It just sits in Padmasana for hours and hours without tiredness, boredom, but does not does not do any other activity, doesn't cooperate even to take few steps. I myself felt it's it is too weird and too paradoxical. How can my body that is able to do during my Nitya Shiva Puja all the steps like Topu Karnam, Ananyasa Karanyasam, Atma Pradakshina, Shashtanga Namaskar, and all other mudras, but not able to walk even few steps for any other purpose? When I touch the water for doing Abhishekam during the puja, I don't feel it is cold, but the same water, same temperature. When I try to drink, it feels too cold and vomits out the whole thing without single ml less. Even all the devotee doctors who are around me, taking care of me, are feeling this is paradoxical and not able to understand it medically. So one day, when all of them went out for their lunch, when I was alone, I thought I can try to walk a few steps. Because if the doctors are around me, they may not allow me to walk due to my physical conditions. So I secretly tried to take few steps, but body collapsed to the ground like a bee. Fortunately, there was no head injury because of the dreadlocks Shiva Jatas I am having protected my head like a helmet. But there was a fracture in the left leg, last three toes. Fortunately, it turned out to be just hairline fracture, so there was no pain or surgery that was required. I just applied Arunachaleshwara Vibhuti and it got healed in few days. Doctors tested for osteoporosis, bone density test, all 70 types of autoimmune disorder and ruled it out. Even though medically everything is all right, as per the allopathy science, body doesn't do any other activity other than Nitya Shiva Puja, sitting in Padmasana, and being in Samadhi whole day and night. Now I understand why rishis, munis, siddhas, yogis of our Hindu tradition go away to mountains and deep jungles to rest their physical bodies during the Samadhi. Because during this superconscious mutation, the physical body just need to be let it be without any movement. Meditate on each of these sacred secrets I revealed, and you will manifest state and powers of Paramashiva because you all, my devotees and disciples, are my own extension and in oneness with me. Many haters and enemies are trying to create the doubts whether these posts are put by me directly or somebody else. To clear all the doubts and questions, I have attached a photo of my today's signature. Enrich and enjoy, share and celebrate. Moving on to the next post of our beloved Guru from 31st May. Paramashiva's blessings. Dear devotees and disciples, I will give one more live coverage and revelations from Samadhi. About Samadhi. Samadhi is absolute wellness, health, and it is actually cosmic orderliness. Body just aligns for more higher expression of Paramashiva's knowledge and powers. Fortunately, my whole body is continuously under medical observations, and multiple diagnostic methods are also used. Everything is well documented to prove Samadhi is not disease. My brain waves and heart function are constantly recorded and observed with the full ICU setup proves Samadhi is not coma state. Once I settle in the body and start giving regular satsangs, I will release all the medical reports to the world to prove Samadhi is not any disease. Even though there is no food or any intake, there is no tiredness. There is no entertainment other than listening to Dharmapuram Sri Swaminathan's Devaran chantings, but no boredom or mental fatigue. Samadhi is not a mental state or emotional state, it's beyond body, mind, emotions. Actually, from my first Samadhi experience, I neither have mind nor any emotional state. All my actions and reactions are just spontaneous response for the mission of KAILASA of Paramashiva. I neither have personal interest nor have personal motives. I don't even have a personalized individual idea, opinion, or cognition about myself. With more and more of this Samadhi tsunami is happening in my system, the individual I carry is more and more filled with Paramashiva and established in Paramashivoham. From Maharishi Valmiki in the olden days to Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharshi in the modern day, all of them prove that during Samadhi, body doesn't get destroyed. Even though there was no normal food intake or regular sleep, body only goes through a powerful superconscious mutation. Samadhi is like an intense spiritual detox. Till now, we have done multiple researches and observations and documented it medically and scientifically. But this time, the amount of data we are able to collect establishes many points of Jnana Vijnana of Hinduism and many points revealed in the pure science, Vedas, and applied science, Agamas of Paramashiva. I always wanted my life should scientifically validate the great revelations of Hinduism about consciousness and super consciousness. Now we got enough medical data to establish Samadhi is superconscious mutation and not any sickness. So I will be surely back in few days to share the satsang with Big Bang that I'm enjoying right now by being inside the Samadhi. Only thing during Samadhi, the body should be just left to be as it is, without getting touched or without any external intervention. Fortunately, all the doctors who are attending to me are my disciples, so they understand and let my body to be as it is. They are only observing, recording, and documenting whatever my body is going through, so we can show to the world medically and scientifically and prove Samadhi is not a physical mental disease or disorder. Each one of you meditate on all these powerful cognitions and try to practice unflinching. You all, you will all experience the same Samadhi state. As you are all my extension and oneness with me. Enrich and enjoy, share and celebrate. Moving on to the latest Facebook post of our beloved Guru, Bhagwan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, from 25th June. Paramashiva's blessings, dear devotees, disciples, and Kailasavasis. I am in Nirvakalpa Samadhi, only for the sake of all of you, for the good of the world, because I have achieved everything I need to achieve long before, and I have nothing more to achieve for myself, anything anymore. By being in Nirvakalpa Samadhi, my body is acting as cosmic airport for the powers of Paramashiva to land on planet Earth and for all of you to enjoy. Even Brahma does creation by being in Samadhi. All great manifestations happen only by being in Nirvakalpa Samadhi. I will explain some of the great powers of Paramashiva, which are manifesting now, this time by being in Samadhi for so long. I wanted the power of consciousness to be manifested and used just like electricity for common man's day to day life, irrespective of their caste, creed, gender, color, and geographical differences. I have successfully evolved a methodology to use consciousness as a power, like electromagnetic forces. More and more, my being in Samadhi, my body's ability to manifest powers is increasing and also evolving a system independent of any preconditions, just like electricity. The system now I have successfully evolved will be useful to the whole world and it will bring a new revolution in the field of energy and energy consumption and energy supplies. Patience is not inactiveness, but very actively waiting for the ultimate alchemy to happen after adding all the ingredients needed for it. When I'm in Nirvakalpa Samadhi 24 by 7, eternal Sitsang, Nitya Satsang is happening in ultimate silence and in cosmic oneness connection. All my disciples can feel clearly I am talking to you all from your inside. I feel the time I'm spending in Nirvakalpa Samadhi is the most productive time for all your lives because when I'm in Nirvakalpa Samadhi, I can straight answer your questions and grant the boons. Enrich, enjoy, share, and celebrate. With this, we come to the end of today's free satsang hosting. Please stay tuned as Adi KAILASA Nithyanandeshwara Devasthanam joins us with today's Guru Purnima Brahmotsavam celebrations. Please stay tuned as Temple in Adi KAILASA joins us with today's celebrations. Thank you, Nityananda.
I am your Guru. I will make you enlightened. It's my commitment. Till you become Paramashiva, I won't rest. Don't worry at all. To all my disciples, I give you this as a boon. I'll swallow everything with which you are stuck and liberate you all. Time itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your decision to struggle with the same rut is time, Kala. Your decision to swallow time is Kala Bhairava. Stand. Be a conscious woman or man. Be conscious being. Shrink the time through conscious will persistence. Make the future into present by being ferocious with yourself. consciousness as power at this moment to swallow, digest, clean up all negativity and all toxins. Develop a powerful will persistence. That's the most important asset for life. Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyanandam, KAILASA welcomes all of you to the 6th day celebration of Guru Purnima Brahmotsavam, which celebrates the happening of our beloved Bhagwan, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, the ultimate manifestation, Paramavatara of Paramashiva as our Guru or Master. Guru Purnima Brahmotsavam is being celebrated all over KAILASA, the first nation for all Hindus. Today, on the 6th day celebration of Guru Purnima Brahmotsavam, we celebrate the revival of Advaita Sampradaya of Sanatana Hindu Dharma by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Advaita in Sanskrit means non-dualism. Advaita is a living, real experience that one can experience as oneness with Paramashiva. This Sampradaya's core is the personal realization of the truth Advaita in one's reality. The methods of self-inquiry and self-introspection are emphasized to guide one to this realization of the truth of the cosmos, of oneness, of Advaita. The science of Advaita was given by Paramashiva himself as Jnanapada of Agama, and this science has been kept alive by many masters from Vedavyasa to Adi Shankara, Ramana Maharishi and Annamalai Swamigal, to name a few. Today, here in Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Devalayam, at Adi KAILASA Nithyananda Sarvajñapitham, we are worshipping Bhagwan Sri Jnana Dakshinamurti as the chief deity of Advaita Sampradaya. Jnana Dakshinamurti, also known as Medha Dakshinamurti, is a manifestation of Paramashiva as a guru who transmits Jnana, or the highest truth of Advaita, without uttering a single word. We worship and revere Sri Annamalai Swamigal, who served the great incarnation Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi personally, developing a deep devotional obedience towards him and imbibing the best of his teachings as the Guru of Advaita Sampradaya. Annamalai Swamigal's main guidance in Swamiji's life was in the path of Advaita and self-inquiry. At the age of 12, Swamiji, while practicing this method, seated at the foothills of Arunachala, had a superconscious breakthrough when he experienced total 360-degree vision, his first Nirvikalpa Samadhi experience. The Utsava Vigraha of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, graces us here today as the reviver of Advaita Sampradaya, who has revealed the highest truth of Paramadvaita, which technically means the ultimate oneness, according to which, even before we realize that we are Paramashiva, even when we struggle with this realization, we are Paramashiva. And whatever we are manifesting in life, consciously or unconsciously, what we want or do not want, we are only able to manifest because we are the source, Paramashiva himself. Other contributions by the Supreme Pontiff to the world in this Sampradaya of Advaita are unclutching initiation, living Advaita process, and his commentary on Ashtavakra Gita. Let us now offer our sincere devotion and worship at the feet of Bhagwan Sri Jnana Dakshinamurti, Sri Annamalai Swamigal, and our beloved Bhagwan, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, on this 6th day celebration of Guru Purnima Brahmotsavam, and seek their grace and blessings.
Nithyanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवसमारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरी परमशिवशक्तिमध्यमां नित्यानन्दपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। ललाटे त्रिपुण्ड्रीनितिलधितकस्तूरीतिलकः स्फुरन्मालाधारस्फुरितकटिकौपीनवसनः तथा नो दुट्टारं शिरसि फणिराजं शशिकलां प्रदीपः सर्वेषाम् अरुणगिरियोगी विजयते। चित्तं वदटरोर्मूले वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा गुरोर्स्तु मौनं व्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तु छिन्न संशयः। नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय मूर्तये नमः। ॐ विद्यारूपिणे नमः। ॐ महायोगिने नमः। ॐ शुद्धज्ञानिने नमः। ॐ पिनाकधृते नमः। ॐ रक्तालङ्कार सर्वाङ्ग्ये नमः। ॐ रत्नमौलये नमः। ॐ जटाधराय नमः। ॐ गङ्गाधराय नमः। ॐ अचलवासिने नमः। ॐ महाज्ञानिने नमः। ॐ समाधिकृते नमः। ॐ अप्रमेयाय नमः। ॐ योगनिधये नमः। ॐ तारकाय नमः। ॐ भक्तवत्सलाय नमः। ॐ ब्रह्मरूपिणे नमः। ॐ जगद्व्यापिने नमः। ॐ विश्वमूर्तये नमः। ॐ पुरातनाय नमः। ॐ उक्षवाहयाय नमः। ॐ चर्मवासिने नमः। ॐ पीताम्बरविभूषणाय नमः। ॐ मोक्षदायिने नमः। ॐ मोक्षनिधये नमः। ॐ मण्डकारये नमः। ॐ जगत्पतये नमः। ॐ विद्याधारिणे नमः। ॐ शुक्लतनवे नमः। ॐ विद्यादायिने नमः। ॐ गणाधिपतये नमः। ॐ
प्रौढापस्मृति
संहार्त्रे नमः। ॐ शशिमौलये नमः। ॐ महास्वनाय नमः। ॐ सामप्रियाय नमः। ॐ अव्ययाय नमः। ॐ साधवे नमः। ॐ सर्ववेदीरलङ्कृताय नमः। ॐ हस्ते वह्निधराय नमः। ॐ श्रीमते मृगधारिणे नमः। ॐ वशङ्कराय नमः। ॐ यज्ञनाथाय नमः। ॐ क्रतुध्वंसिने नमः। ॐ यज्ञभोक्त्रे नमः। ॐ यमान्तकाय नमः। ॐ भक्तानुग्रहमूर्तये नमः। ॐ भक्तसेव्याय नमः। ॐ वृषभध्वजाय नमः। ॐ भस्मोद्धूलितसर्वाङ्गाय नमः। ॐ अक्षमालाधराय नमः। ॐ महते नमः। ॐ त्रयीमूर्तये नमः ॐ परब्रह्मणे नमः ॐ नागराजैलङ्कृताय नमः ॐ शान्तरूपाय महाज्ञानिने नमः ॐ सर्वलोकभूषणाय नमः ॐ अर्धनारीश्वराय नमः ॐ देव्याय नमः ॐ मुनिसेव्याय नमः ॐ सुरोत्तमाय नमः ॐ व्याख्यानदेवाय नमः ॐ भगवते नमः ॐ रविचन्द्राग्निलोचनाय नमः ॐ जगद्गुरवे नमः ॐ महादेवाय नमः ॐ महानन्दपरायणाय नमः ॐ जटाधारिणे नमः ॐ महायोगिने नमः
ॐ ज्ञानमालैरलङ्कृताय नमः
ॐ व्योमगङ्गाजलस्थानाय नमः ॐ विशुद्धाय नमः ॐ यतये नमः ॐ ऊर्जिताय नमः ॐ तत्त्वमूर्तये नमः ॐ महायोगिने नमः ॐ महासारस्वतप्रदाय नमः ॐ व्योममूर्तये नमः ॐ भक्तानिष्ठाय नमः ॐ कामफलप्रदाय नमः ॐ परमूर्तये नमः ॐ चित्स्वरूपिणे नमः ॐ तेजोमूर्तये नमः ॐ अनामयाय नमः ॐ वेदवेदाङ्गतत्त्वज्ञाय नमः ॐ चतुष्शक्तिकलात्मिधये नमः ॐ भवरोगभवध्वंसिने नमः ॐ भक्तामभयप्रदाय नमः ॐ नीलग्रीवाय नमः ॐ ललाटाक्षाय नमः ॐ गजचर्मणे नमः ॐ गतिप्रदाय नमः ॐ अरागिने नमः ॐ कामदाय नमः ॐ तपस्विने नमः ॐ विष्णुवल्लभाय नमः ॐ ब्रह्मचारिणे नमः ॐ सन्न्यासिने नमः ॐ गृहस्थाश्रमकारणाय नमः ॐ बन्ताय नमः ॐ भवरोगहराय नमः ॐ भुक्तिमुक्तिप्रदात्रे नमः ॐ मङ्गलकर्त्रे नमः ॐ मधुराभाषिणे नमः ॐ महात्मने नमः ॐ महावाक्योपदेशकृते नमः ॐ सत्यरूपाय नमः ॐ दयापराय नमः ॐ योगभट्टाभिरामाय नमः ॐ वीणाधारिणे नमः ॐ विचेतनाय नमः ॐ अतिप्रज्ञानशुद्धधारिणे नमः ॐ मुद्रापुस्तकधारणाय नमः ॐ
वेतालादिपिशाचौदराक्षसौदविनाशनाय
नमः ॐ रोगाणां विनिहन्त्रे नमः ॐ सुरेश्वराय नमः ॐ श्री योगदक्षिणामूर्तये स्वामिने नमः ॐ अथ धूपः ॐ धूरसि धूर्वधूर्वन्तं धूर्वतञ्योऽस्मान् धूर्वतितं धूर्वयं वयं धूर्वामस्त्वं देवानामसि सस्नितमं बभृतमं जुष्टतमं वह्नितमं देवहूतममहृतमसि हविर्धानं दृगुमस्वमाह्वा मित्रस्य त्वा चक्षुषा प्रेक्षेर्माभिर्मा संविक्ता मा त्वा हि गुंसिषम्। श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। धूपमाग्रापयामि। सर्वाभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमो नमः। धूपमाग्रापयामि। ओम उद्दीप्य स्वजातवेदो भग्निं निररिदिं मम वसुगुश्च मह्यमावह जीवनं च दिशो दिशा मानो हि गुंसीर्जातवेदो कामस्वं पुरुषं जगते अभिभ्रदग्न आगहि श्रिया मा परिपातया। श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। सर्वाभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमो नमः। दीपं संदर्शयामि। ओम मधुमातारतायते मधुक्षरन्ति सिन्धवः माध्वीर्न स्वन्तोषधीः मधुनक्तमुतोषसि मधुमत्पार्थिवगुं रजः मधुद्योरस्तु नः पिता मधुमान्नो वनस्पतिर्मधुमागुम् अस्तु सूर्यः माध्वीर्गावो भवन्तु नः मधु मधु मधु। श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। सर्वाभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमो नमः। अमृतं नः नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि। निवेद्यानन्तरम् आचमनीयं समर्पयामि। ओम यश्छन्दसां वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोऽभ्योऽध्यमृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया आप्नोतु अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणं जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरिविश्रुवं ब्रह्मणः कोशोषि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम मेधा देवी जुषमाना न आगात् विश्वाची भद्रासु मनस्यमाना त्वया जुष्टानुधमाना धुरुक्तान् बृहद्मतेव विदते सुवीराः। ॐ सांग्रहण्येस्त्यायजते इमां जनतागुं संग्रहाणीति द्वादशारत्नेरशना भवति द्वादशमासा संवत्सरः संवत्सरमेवावरुन्धे मौञ्जी भवति ऊर्ध्वे मुञ्जाः ऊर्जमेवावरुन्धे चित्रानक्षत्रं भवति चित्रं वा एतत् कर्म। श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। अलंकार दीपं संदर्शयामि। ओम त्रीणि त्रीणि वै देवानां वृद्धानि त्रीणि छन्दागुंसि त्रीणि सवनानि त्रय इमे लोकाः ऋद्ध्यामेव तद्वीर्य एषु लोकेषु प्रतितिष्ठति यच्चातुर्मास्य याज्यमात्मो न बध्येत् ॐ ईशानः सर्वविद्यानाम् ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्माधिपतिर्ब्रह्मणोऽधिपतिर्ब्रह्मा शिवो मे अस्तु सदा शिवो तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्रः प्रचोदयात् अघोरेभ्योऽथ घोरेभ्यो घोरघोरतरेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यो नमस्ते अस्तु रुद्ररूपेभ्यः वामदेवाय नमो ज्येष्ठाय नमः श्रेष्ठाय नमो रुद्राय नमः कालाय नमः कलविकरणाय नमो बलविकरणाय नमो बलाय नमो बलप्रमथनाय नमः सर्वभूतदमनाय नमो मनोन्मनाय नमः सद्यो जातं प्रपद्यामि सद्यो जाताय वै नमो नमः भवे भवेनाति भवे भवस्व मां भवोद्भवाय नमः ॐ हिरण्यपात्रं मधोत्पूर्णं ददाति मधव्योषाणीति एकधा ब्रह्मण उपहरति एकदैव यजमान आयुस्तेजो दधाति ॐ हंस हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसः प्रचोदयात् ॐ हंस हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसः प्रचोदयात् ॐ हंस हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसः प्रचोदयात् ॐ श्री सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः कर्पूर नीराजनं संदर्शयामि बृहत्सामक्षत्रभृद्वृद्धवृष्णियं दृष्टुभौजः सुभितमुग्रवीरम् इन्द्रस्तोमेन पञ्चदशेन मध्यमिदं वातेन सकरेण रक्षां धारयामि ॐ नभो नभो भवदिदाय मनोन्हां केतुरुषसामेत्यग्रं भागं देवेभ्यो विदधात्यायन् प्रचन्द्रमास्तिरते दीर्घमायुः ॐ मूर्धानं दिवो अरतिं पृथिव्या वैश्वानरजायमृताय जातमग्रिम् कविगुं सम्राजमतिथिं जनानामासन्नापात्रं जनयन्त देवाः ॐ दूरमस्मच्छत्रवो यन्तु भीताः तदिन्द्राग्ने कृणतां तद्विशाखे तन्नो देवा अनुमदन्तु यज्ञं पश्चात् पुरस्तात् अभयन्नो अस्तु ॐ वायुस्तागम् अग्रे प्रमुक्तो देवाः प्रजापतिः प्रजया संविधानः प्रमुञ्चमाना भुवनस्य रेतो गातुं दत्त यजमानाय देवाः उपाकृतगुं शशमानं जजस्ताजीवं देवानामप्येतुपातः ॐ केतुन् कृण्वन्न केतवेपेशो मर्या अपेशसे शमुषद्भिरजायताः ब्रह्मा देवानां पदविः कवीनां ऋषिः विप्राणां महिषो मृगाणां येनो
वृद्धा
स्वदितिर्वना नागः सोमः पवित्रमत्येतिरे भन्ने सचित्रचित्रं चितयन्तमस्मे चित्राक्षस्य चित्रतानं मयोधां चन्द्रं रविं पूर्वीरं बृहन्तं चन्द्राभिगृणते यो वस्व ॐ राजाधिराजाय प्रसंयसाहिने नमो वयं वै श्रवणाय कुर्महे समे कामान् कामकामाय मह्यं कामेश्वरो वै श्रवणो ददातु कुबेराय वै श्रवणाय महाराजाय नमः ॐ राजाधिराजाय प्रसंयसाहिने नमो वयं वै श्रवणाय कुर्महे समे कामान् कामकामाय मह्यं कामेश्वरो वै श्रवणो ददातु कुबेराय वै श्रवणाय महाराजाय नमः ॐ हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसः प्रचोदयात् श्री सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः कर्पूर नीराजनं संदर्शयामि रक्षां धारयामि त्रिगुणं त्रिगुणाकारं त्रिनेत्रं च त्रियायुधं त्रिजन्म पापसंहारम् एकबिल्वं नित्यार्पणम्। ओम भवाय देवाय नमः। ओम सर्वाय देवाय नमः। ओम ईशानाय देवाय नमः। ओम पशुपतेर्देवाय नमः। ओम उग्राय देवाय नमः। ओम रुद्राय देवाय नमः। ओम भीमाय देवाय नमः। ओम महते देवाय नमः। फलसमायुक्तं नागवल्लीदलैर्युतं कर्पूर्णचूर्णसंयुक्तं ताम्बूलं प्रतिगृह्यताम्। ॐ योपां पुष्पं वेद
पुष्पवान् प्रजावान्
पशुमान् भवति। चन्द्रमा वा अपां पुष्पं पुष्पवान् प्रजावान् पशुमान् भवति। य एवं वेद
योपामायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति।
अग्निर्वा अपामायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति।
योरग्ने आयतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति।
आपो वा अग्नेरायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति।
य एवं वेद
योपामायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति।
वायुर्वा अपामायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति।
यो वायोरायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति।
आपो वै वायोरायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति।
य एवं वेद
योपामायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति।
असो वै तपन्नपामायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति।
यो
शतपथ आयतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति। आपो वा अमुष्यतपथ आयतनम् आयतनवान् भवति।
य एवं वेद
योपामायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति।
चन्द्रमा वा अपामायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति।
यश्चन्द्रमसमायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति।
आपो वै चन्द्रमस आयतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति।
य एवं वेद
योपामायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति।
नक्षत्राणि वा अपामायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति।
यो नक्षत्रानपामायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति। आपो वै नक्षत्राणामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति।
य एवं वेद
योपामायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति।
पर्जन्यो वा अपामायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति।
यः पर्जन्यस्यायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति।
आपो वै पर्जन्यस्यायतनम्
आयतनवान् भवति।
य एवं वेद
यो वामायतनं वेद
आयतनवान् भवति। संवत्सरो वा अपामायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति। यत्संवत्सरस्यायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति। आपो वै संवत्सरस्यायतनम् आयतनवान् भवति। य एवं वेद योऽप्सुनावं प्रतिष्ठितां वेद प्रत्येव तिष्ठति। ॐ राजाधिराजाय प्रसन्यसायिने नमो वयं वै श्रवणाय कुर्महे। समे कामान् कामकामाय मह्यं कामेश्वरो वै श्रवणो ददातु। कुबेराय वै श्रवणाय महाराजाय नमः। न कर्मणा न प्रजया धनेन त्यागेनैके अमृतत्वमानशुः। परेण नाकं निहितं गुहायां विप्राजते तद्यतजो विशन्ति। वेदान्तविज्ञानसुनिश्चितार्था सन्न्यासयोगात्यदयत्शुद्धसत्त्वाः ते ब्रह्मलोके तु परान्तकाले परामृतात् परिमृच्छन्ति सर्वे। दक्रं विपापं परमे स्वभूतं यः पुण्डरीकं परमद्य सग्रस्तं तत्रापि दक्रं गगनं विशोकस्तस्मिन् यदन्तस्तदुपासितव्यं। यो वेदादो स्वर प्रोक्तो वेदान्ते च प्रतिष्ठितः तस्य प्रकृतिलीनस्य यः परः स महेश्वरः। देवदेवोत्तम देवता सार्वभौम अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायक श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूप भगवत श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव जय विजयी भव। चतुर्वेद प्रिय चतुर्वेदम अवधारय। हरि ओम। अग्निमीले पुरोहितं यज्ञस्य देवं ऋत्विजं होतारं रत्नधातामं। हरिः ओम। हरिः ओम। ईशेर्द्वोर्जेत्वा वायवस्तो वायवस्तदेवो वस्सविता प्राप्रतयुश्रेष्ठतमाय कर्मणे। हरिः ओम। हरिः ओम। अग्न आयाहि वीतये गृहाणो हव्यधातये निहोता सत्सि बर्हिषि। हरिः ओम। हरिः ओम। शन्नो देवीरभीष्टय आपो भवन्तु वीतये शंयोरभिस्रवन्तु नः। हरिः ओम। देवदेवोत्तम देवता सार्वभौम अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायक श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपा भगवत श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव जय विजयी भव। आगम श्लोक प्रिय आगम श्लोकानवय अवधारय। तया पूर्या सुमूर्धान्तं भङ्क्त्वा भ्रूक्षेपसेतुना निर्विकल्पं मनः कृत्वा सर्वोद्वे सर्वगोद्गमः। देवदेवोत्तम देवता सार्वभौम अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायक श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूप भगवत श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव जय विजयी भव। द्राविड वेद प्रिय द्राविड वेदम अवधारय। शिवा तिरुचित्रंबलम तोडुडय सवियन विडयेरिवोर्तुवेन मदिसूडी காடுடைய சுடலை பொடி பூசியன் உள்ளம் கவர்கல்வன் ஏடுடைய மலரான் முனை நான் பணிந்தேத்த அருள் செய்த பீடுடைய பிரமாபுரம் மேவிய பெம்மானிவனன்றேன் அருள் செய்த பெம்மானிவனன்றேன்। शिवा तिरुचित्रंबलम। देवदेवोत्तम देवता सार्वभौम अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायक श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूप भगवत श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव जय विजयी भव। आशीर्वाद प्रिय आशीर्वादम अवधारय। ओम स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु। काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी शस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं शोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः इति स्वस्ति मन्त्रार्थाः सत्या सबला भवन्तु इति भवन्तो महान्तो न गृह्णन्तु तथास्तु। अपुत्रा पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधना सधना सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदर्शतम् इति भवन्तो महान्तो न गृह्णन्तु तथास्तु। दुर्जनः सर्जनो भूयात् सज्जनः शान्तिमाप्नुयात् शान्तो मुच्येत बन्देभ्यः मुक्तश्चान्यान् विमोचयेत् इति भवन्तो महान्तो न गृह्णन्तु तथास्तु। राजा धर्मपतिः प्रजासुचरिताः पूजाधना सज्जनाः षट्कर्म प्रवराद्विजाः प्रतिदिनं विद्या अनवद्या सदा वाणी सन्निहिता चिरं कविमुखैः सानन्दमव्याकुलाः सर्वे सन्तु वैदिकधर्म अनुष्ठातारः सौजन्यसन्तोषिणः इति स्वस्ति मन्त्रार्थाः सत्या सफला भवन्तु इति भवन्तो महान्तो न गृह्णन्तु तथास्तु। येषां देवदेवानां महादेवानाम् अखिलाण्डकोटि ब्रह्माण्डनायकानां सकलभुविसृष्टिस्थितिसंहार तिरोभाव अनुग्रहाख्य पञ्चकृत्यपरायणानाम् आधिमद्यांतरहितानाम् अप्रमेयपराक्रमाणां तत्त्वार्थगोचराणां श्री आदि गुरु श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परमशिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिव स्वरूपानां श्री आदि गुरु अरुणगिरि योगीश्वर स्वरूपानां श्री काल भैरव महाकाली स्वरूपानां श्री कैलासोन्नत द्वादशांत श्यामला पीठारूढ़ श्री मीनाक्षी सुंदरेश्वरा भिन्न स्वरूप परशिव पुत्र रत्न कुमार गुरुमन्य तुल्यावतार श्री पार्वती स्तन्यपान लब्ध दिव्य ज्ञान विश्रुत सकल निगमागम सारभूत द्राविड वेद प्रवक्त्रे श्रीमत् परमशिव करुणा समधिगत मुक्तामय चतुरश्रयान गीयमान छत्र चामर श्री चिन्ह काहलादि समस्त बिरडावल्यलंकृत
ज्ञान विज्ञान चक्रवर्ती
सर्वजन संग सद्यो निर्वाण दीक्षा व्ययाप वर्ग वर्ष विश्रान जीमूत परमत कलभगेसरी शैव सिद्धांत स्थापनाचार्य श्री राजाधिराज पांड्य महाराज गुरु शपन शाक्यादि महांधकार निवारण ज्ञान भानु वीक्षणा नरहर्ह ध्वजोच्छेदन पूर्वक श्रीमद् वृषभध्वज स्थापक शैव समय कर्तृ सर्वज्ञ पीठारूढ़ श्री जगद्गुरु श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशक स्वामी वागीश सुंदर माणिक्य वाचक स्वामिनां अवतार भूत श्री ज्ञान संबंध स्वामी पुनरुद्धृत श्यामला पीठ सर्वज्ञ पीठ तृणवत्युत्तर द्विशततम गुरु महासन्निधानानां अरुणगिरि योगीश्वर परंपरागत अरुणाचल सर्वज्ञ पीठ गुरु महासन्निधानानां कैलास परंपरागत कांची कैलास सर्वज्ञ पीठ त्रयस्त्रिंशदुत्तर द्विशततम गुरु महासन्निधानानां नित्योत्सव नित्य मंगल नित्य कल्याण नित्य रचित कैलास परंपरागत आदि कैलास नित्यानंद पीठ महासंस्थान महासिंहासन पीठ कर्तॄणां साक्षात् श्री परमशिव समुद्भूत कैलास परंपरागत वैवस्वत मनु इक्ष्वाकु हरिश्चंद्र भगीरथ श्रीरामचंद्र शूरसेन इत्यादि अनवच्छिन्न सार्वभौम चक्रवर्ती परंपरागत
चतुष्षष्टि योगिनी मंडित
चतुष्षष्टि संप्रदाय प्रवर्तक अनुधर्म शासन सूर्यवंश प्राप्त सर्वज्ञ पीठ सुरांगी साम्राज्य मूर्धाभिषिक्त चूड़ामणीनां साक्षात् श्री परमशिव समुद्भूत कपिल महागुरु पुनरुद्धृत महानिर्वाणि पीठ अष्टोत्तर सहस्र श्री महामंडलेश्वरानां साक्षात् श्री परमशिव समुद्भूत श्री महागणपति समारंभ अनवच्छिन्न पीठाधीश्वर गुरु परंपरा प्राप्त अटल पीठ अष्टोत्तर सहस्र श्री अटल पीठाधीश्वरानां धर्म मुक्ति स्वर्ग पुरस्वर्ण पीठस्य त्रयोविंश गुरु महासन्निधानानां कैलास परंपरागत आदिपीठ सर्वज्ञ पीठ जगद्गुरूणां श्री कैलास पुनरुद्धारकानां श्री कैलास परमाचार्यानां श्रीमत् परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य वर्य श्रीमत् परमहंसानां परिव्राजकाचार्य वर्यानां सच्चिदानंद प्रणव स्वरूपानां श्रोत्रिय ब्रह्मनिष्ठानां श्रीमज्जगद्गुरूणां श्री भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक परमाचार्य स्वामिनां पादारविन्दयोः भक्ति सिद्धिः समेषां सहकुटुम्बानां सकलैश्वर्य प्राप्तिः गुरुकृपा कटाक्ष सिद्धिः सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपस्य भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवस्य पादारविन्दयोः अचञ्चला भक्ति सिद्धिः भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव प्रसादेन सकुटुम्बस्य ज्ञान वैराग्य जीवन मुक्ति प्राप्तिश्च भूयात् इति भवन्तो महान्तो न गृह्णन्तो तथास्तु सर्वे जना सुखिनः सन्तु तथास्तु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु तथास्तु समस्त सन्मङ्गलानि सन्तु
तथास्तु
सर्वत्र नित्यानन्द ध्वजारोहणं भवतु भवतु तथास्तु सर्वेषां श्रीलश्री भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक परमाचार्य स्वामिनां परिपूर्ण कृपा कटाक्ष सिद्धिः अस्तु तथास्तु अयं धर्मः उत्तरोत्तरम् अभिवृद्धिरस्तु तथास्तु सर्वं भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव पादुकार्पणमस्तु ओम नित्यानंदम्।
ॐ हंस हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ हंस हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ हंस हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसः प्रचोदयात्। सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवत्श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। सर्वाभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमो नमः। कर्पूरनीराजनं सन्दर्शयामि, रक्षां धारयामि। एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ चण्डेशाय विद्महे टङ्कहस्ताय धीमहि तन्नो चण्डः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महासेनाय धीमहि तन्नो षण्मुखः प्रचोदयात्। सर्वदेवदेवीस्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। सर्वाभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमो नमः। कर्पूरनीराजनं सन्दर्शयामि, रक्षां धारयामि। ॐ नमो भगवते रुद्राय। नमस्ते रुद्रमन्यवहुतोत इषवे नमः। नमस्ते अस्तु धन्वने बाहुभ्यामुत ते नमः। यात इषुः शिवतमा शिवं भभोवते धनुः। शिवा शरव्या यात बतया नो रुद्रमृडया। याते रुद्रशिवा तनुरघोरा पापकाशिनी। तया नस्तनुभाषन्तमया गिरिशन्ताभिजागशीः। यामिषुं गिरिशन्तहस्ते बिभर्षस्तवे। शिवां गिरित्रतां कुरु माहि गुंसीः पुरुषं जगत्। शिवेन वचसा त्वा गिरिशाच्छावदामसि। यथा नः सर्वमिज्जगदयक्ष्मगुं सुमना असत्। अध्यवोचदति भक्ताः प्रथमो दैव्योऽभिषक्। अहीगश्च सर्वान् झम्भयन् सर्वान् स यातु धान्यः। असौ यस्ताम्रो अरुणभुत भभ्रुः सुमङ्गलः। ये चेमागुं रुद्र अभितो दिक्षुश्रिताः सहस्रशो वैशागुं हेडहीमहे। असव्यो वसर्पति नीलग्रीवो विलोहितः। उतैनं गोपा अदृशन्नदृशन्नुदहार्यः। उतैनं विश्वाभूतानि सधृष्टो मृडयातिनः। नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीढुषे। अथो ये अस्य सत्त्वानोऽहं तेभ्यो करन्नमः। प्रमुञ्च धन्वनस्त्वमुभयोराग्नियोर्ज्यां। याश्च ते हस्त इषवः पराता भगवो वपा। ॐ एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ चण्डेशाय विद्महे टङ्कहस्ताय धीमहि तन्नश्चण्डः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महासेनाय धीमहि तन्नो षण्मुखः प्रचोदयात्। सर्वदेवदेवीस्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्दपरमशिवाय नमः। सर्वाभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमो नमः। कर्पूरनीराजनं सन्दर्शयामि, रक्षां धारयामि। अवतत्य धनुस्त्वगुं सहस्राक्षशते शुधे। निशीर्य शल्यानां मुखा शिवो नः सुमना भव। विध्यं धनुः कपर्धिनो विशल्यो भानवागुम् उत। अनेशन्नस्येषव आभुरस्य निषङ्गतिः। याते हेतिर्मीढुष्टमहस्ते बभूवते धनुः। तयास्मान् विश्वतस्मम यक्ष्मया परिभुजा। नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधायानातताय धृष्णवे। उभाभ्यामुत ते नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने। परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् वृणक्तु विश्वतः अथो य इषुधिस्तवारे अस्मन्निदेहितं शम्भवे नमः। नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय नित्यानन्दाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। नमो हिरण्यवाहवे सेनान्ये दिशाञ्च पतये नमो नमः वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यः पशूनां पतये नमो नमः सस्पिञ्जराय त्विषीमते पथीनां पतये नमो नमः बब्लुषाय विव्याधिनेन्नानां पतये नमो नमो हरिकेशायोपवीतिने पुष्टानां पतये नमो नमः भवस्य हेत्यै जगतां पतये नमो नमो रुद्राय तथा विनेक्षेत्राणां पतये नमो नमः सूताय हन्त्याय वनानां पतये नमो नमो रोहिताय स्थपतये वृक्षाणां पतये नमो नमः। ॐ एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ चण्डेशाय विद्महे टङ्कहस्ताय धीमहि तन्नश्चण्डः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महासेनाय धीमहि तन्नो षण्मुखः प्रचोदयात्। श्री सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्द परमशिवाय नमः। सर्वाभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमो नमः। कर्पूरनीराजनं सन्दर्शयामि रक्षां धारयामि। मन्त्रिणे वाणिजाय कक्षाणां पतये नमो नमः भवन्तये वारिवस्कृतायौषधीनां पतये नमो नमः उच्चैर्घोषाय क्रन्दयते वत्तीनां पतये नमो नमः कृत्स्नभीताय धावते सत्त्वनां पतये नमः। नमः सहमानाय निव्याधिनीनां पतये नमो नमः ककुभाय निषङ्गिने स्तेनानां पतये नमो नमः निषङ्गिने इषिधिमते तस्कराणां पतये नमो नमः। वञ्चते परिवञ्चते स्तायूनां पतये नमो नमो निचेरवे परिचरायारण्यानां पतये नमो नमः सृकाविभ्यो जिगागुंसद्भ्यो मुष्णतां पतये नमो नमः सिमद्भ्यो नक्तञ्चरभ्यः प्रकृन्तानां पतये नमो नमः उष्णीशिने गिरिचराय कुलुञ्चानां पतये नमो नमः इषुमध्यो तन्वाविभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः आतन्वानेभ्यः प्रतिदधानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः आयच्छद्भ्यो विसृजद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमोऽस्यद्भ्यो विद्यद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमः आसीनेभ्यः शयानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः स्वपद्भ्यो जाग्रद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तिष्ठद्भ्यो धावद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमः। ॐ एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ चण्डेशाय विद्महे टङ्कहस्ताय धीमहि तन्नो चण्डः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महासेनाय धीमहि तन्नो षण्मुखः प्रचोदयात्। श्री सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। सर्वाभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमो नमः। कर्पूरनीराजनं सन्दर्शयामि, रक्षां धारयामि। चोनाद्रीजावताराय ज्योतिस्तंभस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। दण्डत्रिशूलहस्ताय मूलप्रकृतिरूपाय परमशिवशक्तिस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। दण्डत्रिशूलहस्ताय कालकालस्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। आदिपूज्याय देवाय सकृत्पूर्णत्वरूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। सर्वाभयविनाशकाय शत्रुसंहाररूपिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। योगपट्टाभिषिक्ताय राजसन्न्यासधारिणे श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। सार्वभौमैकपत्याय राजराजार्चिताय च श्रीकैलासप्रधानाय नित्यानन्दाय मङ्गलम्। मङ्गलं कल्पवृक्षाय मङ्गलं ज्ञानदायिने परमशिवाय श्रीनित्यानन्देश्वराय मङ्गलम्। मङ्गलं श्रीविद्याम्बायै मङ्गलं कामदायिन्यै सर्वमङ्गलधात्री नित्यानन्देश्वर्यै मङ्गलम्। मङ्गलं गुरुदेवाय मोक्षमूलाय मङ्गलं परमावताराय नित्यानन्दाय गुरवेन्मङ्गलं। त्वं स्मृतमहं धन्य मम प्राणमहेश्वर गङ्गाधरनामेति स्तोत्रस्थानं ददाम्यहम्। हरिः ओं तत्सत्। सर्वं भगवत् श्रीनित्यानन्द परमशिवपादुकार्पणमस्तु। ॐ नित्यानन्दम्।
Thank you for joining us for today's evening celebrations on the 6th day of Guru Purnima Brahmotsavam. The Brahmotsavam celebrations will continue tomorrow throughout the day with the offering of various homas, abhishekams, and various other rituals, culminating with puja and a grand procession, when we will be celebrating the revival of the Paramashiva Jnana and Paramashiva Vijnana Sampradaya of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. We invite you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Indian Standard Time to be a part of these celebrations. Thank you. Nithyanandam.
Paramashiva's message directly from KAILASA. Listen. The existence of the super consciousness consciously, powerfully reflecting into your conscious existence, and your conscious existence recognizing your possibilities and powers of your superconscious existence is superconscious mutation. I wanted to make it very clear. This word mutants is misunderstood all over the world, especially the Hollywood movies and TV serials. The way they project the idea mutants, that is not the way Hinduism reveals about the conscious mutation. Please understand. The Hollywood movies and TV serials, what they talk about mutants is people with extra power, but not enlightenment or the intelligence, compassion to handle the power, compassion to handle the responsibility. It is more like a unconscious mutants from the lower worlds. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Patala. The lower worlds. That concept only is presented in Hollywood movies and TV series like a Heroes, the New Heroes TV series. All these presents almost kind of a frightening depiction about the mutants. Completely forget about that. Understand what Hindu Shastras, Hindu scriptures, Vedas and Agamas, Puranas talk about superconscious mutation. From the vertical time zone, the higher conscious beings, people who achieved superconsciousness, those beings, their superconsciousness, when that reflects in your individual conscious existence, you start manifesting great enlightenment, intelligence, compassion, highest order of human values and divine qualities. With those jnana, buddhi, higher values, you start manifesting powers, extraordinary shaktis. Please understand. In India, even 200 years before, this was a lifestyle. Every village will have few Shatavadanis. Shatavadani means a person who can perform 100 acts at a time. Please understand. Great Vedic scholars in Hindu tradition developed these powers, possibilities through the superconscious mutation. Through this superconscious mutation, they could perform 100 acts at a time, because all their non-mechanical parts of the brain was awakened through this superconscious mutation process. I want all of you to know elaborately our Hindu scriptures, history, books have documented. Puranas are not mythology or myth, it's a history. They have documented these superconscious mutants, people who had the superconscious mutation experience. The Panchapandavas' birth itself is a superconscious mutation. Kundi received the power to make the superconscious beings give their DNA and give birth to kids through their DNA. She brought Surya's DNA with the blessing of Surya. That superconscious mutant is Karna. Till the end, his great value, the greatest value of Surya is just giving. Radiance is his very nature. Anything Karna had, he just gave. The quality of giving, radiating, could never be removed from Karna because he is from the DNA of Surya, the greatest giver, Bhaskara, radiating. He gave his very life. He is the extraordinary giver. Then Kundi brought the DNA of Yamadharma Raja, Yama, who is the Lord of natural law, Dharma, and gave birth to a child in the same signs of superconscious mutation. Till the end, Dharma. Yudhishthira never violates Dharma. The way he upheld Dharma is unimaginable. It's because superconscious mutation. Then comes Bhima. It's a superconscious being, Vayu. His DNA was brought, and Vayu's very DNA, superconscious mutation has been done, and Bhima was born. The power Bhima radiated, the power of Vayu Bhagavan, the power Bhima radiated is unimaginable. Arjuna is a superconscious mutant of Indra. Then Nahula and Sahadeva, they are the superconscious mutants of Ashwini Kumaras. These great beings are all superconscious mutants. Understand, our Idihasas, Puranas elaborately document these superconscious mutation and the science of superconscious mutation, there's an elaborate description of the 7 enlightenment cities, Kashi, Kanchi, Madura, all these 7, Mayapuri, all these 7 enlightenment cities each having the population of 10,000 Sahasravadanis, 1 lakh Shadavadanis. Sahasravadani means who can perform 1,000 action at a time. Sadavadani means who can perform 100 action at a time. Please understand, what I am talking is not story. Even as recently as now, there are documentation in Mohal's court where they start awarding Shatavadanis. They start giving awards to Shatavadanis. There are documentation. In front of the court, people performed this 100 acts at a time. Forget all of that. Even now, in Andhra, the Telugu Brahmins community, they are keeping this tradition of Avatanis alive. The living stream is not dead. It is there still. It's there. Shodasavadanis, Ashtavadanis, still the tradition is there. In Andhra, the Telugu Brahmins tradition, and even the Telugu Brahmins who came and settled in the banks of Kaveri in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. All the 3, Godavari, Karnataka, Kaveri in Karnataka, Kaveri in the Tamil Nadu. In all 3 places, the Telugu Brahmins who came and settled are still keeping these Avadani traditions alive. Actually, there's an elaborate description how these rivers were energized with the superconscious energy for these Avadani traditions to be kept alive. The Ganga was used for Sahasravatana, Sahasravatanis, people who can perform 1,000 acts. They settled in Kashmir and Kashi. Then the next level, people who can perform little less than 1,000, but around 900. They settled in Yamuna. And you need to know, after the Ganga and Yamuna, people who can perform above 500, but less than 900. That group settled near Godavari. That is why when we describe the rivers and worship, Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati. Saraswati does not come third, Godavari comes third. Then comes Saraswati. Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri. It was different settlement of different Avadanis. There's an elaborate description of how these Avadanis are trained and how this science was kept alive. Avadani's training is one of the aspect of superconscious mutation. More than Avadanis, another important aspect of superconscious mutation is ability to use the astras. Ability to use the different organs senses. Listen. Ability to use different organs and senses. That superconscious mutation is avadanis. You will have an extraordinary capacity to smell, think, write poetry, recollect the numbers, names uttered, means the Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, Manas, Chitta, Buddhi, memory, everything will be fully active, alive, intensely, simultaneously, spontaneously, synergetically. That is what is the definition of being an avatani. All your jnanendriyas and karmendriyas. Jnanendriya means the organs in your system which receives information and processes. Karmendriya means organs in your system which performs actions. Jnanendriyas and karmendriyas and the internal organs who are responsible for Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas to be fully active and alive. Sorry for using too many Sanskrit terms. I'll try to translate every Sanskrit term I'm using and give English meaning. The knowledge receptors and action performers, these two organs, for example, tongue, when it tastes, it is called Jnanendriya. When it speaks, it is called Karmendriya. Same tongue, when it performs the action of receiving the taste and processing that information, it's called Jnanendriya. The same tongue, when it performs the action of talking, it's called Karmendriya. Like that, the Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas and the internal organs which are responsible for these Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas to be active. For example, liver. Only if your liver is absolutely detoxed and fully active, you will have a deep ability to coordinate all the actions. Please understand, coordination of all the actions needs not just the support of the brain, it needs the support of your liver. Because your liver is responsible for all your internal organs functioning smoothly. So, the avadani has to keep his whole body detoxed. If you are an avadani, you will automatically keep your body detoxed. Only if you are detoxed, you will be able to be an avadani. Keeping all your karmendriyas, jnanendriyas and internal organs active, alive, simultaneously, spontaneously, synergetically, in a synced way, is called avadana. I myself have seen an avadani who can smell, listen to the music, taste some of the food items, and hear the numbers, flower names, various other names being uttered, and see the scenes in front of him, which is constantly changed, various paintings. Mix all this and sing poetry without missing the order. He can see everything, listen everything, and during this whole process, somebody will be touching his back with peacock feather at various points. He will narrate this whole thing in a poetic way without missing the order. This multiple performance avadanis is one aspect of superconscious mutation. Then the next, using shastras. That is what now I am making Suvignana master. See, in Shankara's history, if you see Adi Shankara's history, two of his disciples never studied anything. Totakacharya, Bhatmapada. They just served him. Just by superconscious mutation, he made both of them Shastravadanis. Shastravadanis, like Sahasra Avadanis on Shastra. Sahasra Avadanis means they can perform 1,000 actions at a time. Shastra centered. He made both of them Sarvanyas. What Mandana Mishra did through the self-effort, his whole life, Adi Shankara gave it through superconscious mutation to Todaka and Bhatmapada Acharyas, just like that. Sarvanyatva can be transmitted through the initiation. And Sahasravadana of Shastras can be transmitted just like that. Adi Shankara has demonstrated it. Then Sahasravadanis of Shastras. How do you think Drona could transmit this whole science to all the students in short period? Especially the capacities of Arjuna, Bhima. If you see all their capacities, unimaginable capacities cannot come by training. It is only the science of superconscious mutation. Just within 7 years, Karna receives everything including Brahmastram from Parasurama. How? It's impossible by training, but only through the superconscious mutation. Understand, superconscious mutation is a science. There are 25 branches of Sahasravatana, performing 1,000 actions at a time centered on organs. This tradition is kept alive in the Telugu Brahmins community who settled in the banks of Godavari and Kaveri. Understand what I am saying? Even now, there is a living stream, at least few people. We have Shodasa Avadanis, 16 actions at a time. I want to tell you, put this on record, how the invaders of India destroyed this Avadani tradition. They understood these Avadanis are the powerful people keeping this Hindu tradition alive. So these invaders started rewarding the Avadanis. Everyone thought, why will award and reward Avadanis? Hindus. Because all these Hindu Avadanis have started coming out openly, publicly to receive the award and reward. They collected everyone and finished them off once for all. That is the way the living stream of the Avadanis were destroyed by the invaders. Understand? But one good news I have for you, all of you, is fortunately, this Avadani, the superconscious mutation, is done in the DNA level. If the Telugu Brahmin DNA is available, Telugu Brahmin kids are available, that is enough. I can reinitiate them, revive the whole Avadani tradition, which is what I am doing through our Gurukul. This is the good news we have. The Gotra of Avadanis, the Telugu Brahmins who carry this Avadanis DNA, if the child is initiated, into power manifestation, immediately he reclaims, his DNA is awakened, and the whole Avadana powers starts manifesting. The superconscious mutation starts happening. Shrikant Iyer is sending a message. His family also, there are Avadanis. Shrikant Iyer, you are a Tamil Brahmin. That is not called Avadanis. That is a different science. It is yogic powers. Please understand. The Telugu Brahmins kept the Avadana tradition alive. Tamil Brahmins kept the Mantra Shastra alive. The Avadanis which you are talking, Shrikant Iyer, your family, you are actually Tamil Brahmin, means the Tanjavur Brahmins, Tambras family. Hope I am right. And people who carry that Iyer title, that DNA, your Avadanatva is manifested through Mantra Shastra. Fundamentally, the Tamil Brahmins Avadana tradition, that superconscious mutation is Shastra centered. The Telugu Brahmins Avadana tradition is organ centered. Karmendriya, Jnanendriya centered power is the Telugu Brahmins Avadana tradition. The Tamil Brahmins, see, I don't want to create any conflict or community fight here. I am just putting all these things in record. Whatever I saw in the Akashic records and Shastras and the traditions and books, I am putting it on record. The Tamil Brahmins have the Sahasravatana capacity, Shastra centered. Once the Tamil Brahmin boy or a girl goes through a superconscious mutation, he can perform Avadana on any Shastras. On any Shastras. the Shastra-centric Avadana performance, Sahasravadana performance, science was kept alive, focused by Tamil Brahmins. Please understand, it's not that Tamil Brahmins never studied the Avadana tradition of Telugu Brahmins, but each of them took up one branch and kept it alive. And Shastra-centered Avadana tradition, Shastra means weapon, Shastra-astra-centered Avadana tradition was kept alive by Parasurama's Gotra in UP. The whole UP area, the modern day Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, in that area, the Parasurama still alive. They have that Sahasravadana tradition centered on Shastras and Astras. Still, I have seen one Brahmin sadhu who can pick up a grass and chant a mantra and throw that grass, it will catch fire by itself and go and fall some 20-30 kilometers away and blast. I have seen a sadhu who can perform this avadana. Please understand, the organ-centric superconscious mutation avadani tradition was kept alive in Telugu Brahmin stream. Shastra-centric, mantra-centric, Sahasravadana tradition was kept alive by Tamil Brahmins, and Astra-Shastra, weapon-centric Avadana was kept alive by the Parashurama's Gotra in UP and Uttarakhand, the modern day Uttar Pradesh and UP, the UP, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand. And Ramesh Ramani is sending a message that they are Telugu Brahmins, and one of his great-grandmother has written the Ramayana on wall. Oh God. Actually, these are living, what to say that, living documentations. And I am getting so many messages. And Nitya Ramani is saying that Isha and Keshava are of Telugu Brahmins. Can they be initiated, Swamiji? Please understand, for the superconscious mutation, they have to be in a Gurukul. And Nitya Ramani, if you want 2 kids for the family, keep Isha and Keshav. Now plan to give birth to more kids. And you are young, you are not old. You are young, you can. Give birth at least 2 to 3 kids more. Send them to Gurukul because it needs a full attention for their DNA to fully manifest. Mainly the ecosystem. Ecosystem where they continue every day, they have to manifest powers. Their food. You need to understand, Nitya Ramani, because you asked, I am telling you, the lifestyle and the kind of words people utter around, all that plays a major role when a child flowers into Avadani. The fear and greed, everything should be centered on power manifestation, not on money manifestation. See, it is not that our Gurukul kids don't have fear or don't have greed, but it is all centered on power manifestation. They get greedy to manifest more powers. They get fear if they don't manifest powers. But it is not centered on money. Oh, will I get a job? Will I get this certificate? Will I get that? So understand, the whole life has to be focused on power manifestation and becoming avadanis. The real reason why I am so focused on Gurukul is my work is not just writing some 1,000 books, giving 1,000 satsangs. My work is super conscious mutation. Making thousands and thousands of avadanis, power manifestors, demonstrably. Please understand one more thing. I want to put this whole thing on record. Good news is, this whole science is recorded inside the DNA. So as long as the last Brahmin is alive, this science cannot be destroyed, cannot be eliminated. That's the good news. The great news is, Paramashiva has empowered me. He has given me the power to revive, awaken, and do the superconscious mutation. And revive that power of Sahasravadani. So Nithyaramani, first thing, you are young, you are not old. Both of you are young. You can plan for at least 2 or 3 more kids and send them to Gurukul after the age of 7. This will be equivalent to giving $1 billion to Hindu society. Understand? When you give one child to Gurukul and when he starts manifesting powers, a tradition is revived. Not just one person, a tradition is revived. I always tell people, when one Hindu woman is taken away, it is not that we lose one woman, yet whole lineage is lost. Same way, if the one child, Brahmin child, or one Brahmin girl starts manifesting this avatana powers, it is not that one girl or one boy is manifesting. The whole gotra, the whole order, the tradition, the heritage, that whole lineage is revived. The kids who are staying in their home with parents, I can initiate them, give them few powers. But becoming like a Sahasravatani, you need the ecosystem where the kids manifest these powers intensely. I wanted to tell all of you who put the message now, Ramesh Ramani, Nithya Ramani, Shrikant Iyer, all of you, take this very seriously. One child from the Brahmin tradition, Brahmin DNA, please understand, I am not a casteist person. All of you should know I myself is not a Brahmin DNA. I am from Adishevalalar community. So you should know that I am not a casteist person, and I talk so much about social justice, and I work for the social justice. Here I am talking about the biology of the superconscious mutation. I am not talking about the social community structure. I am talking about the biology of the superconscious mutation. So understand, if one Brahmin child becomes part of the Gurukul and he starts manifesting powers and sarvanyatva, and he starts manifesting this avadanitva, not just the one child, the whole lineage is revived. Hindus need to realize, last 300 years, heavy persecution, huge effort was put to destroy this Avadani science, the superconscious mutation science, because this is the core of Hinduism. Core of Hinduism is not just in Shastras, not just in temples. All that is great. Keeping it alive, all that is container. Content is this superconscious mutation process. Understand, I am not disrespecting Shastras or the temples. No way. But all I am telling you is, Shastras and temples are all containers. See, when invaders invaded India, they burnt libraries, whole thing. Some of our libraries was burning for 2 years. Around 20 million books, manuscripts have been burnt. But the whole thing was rewritten within next 10 years by just 10 Brahmins sitting in a remote forest, because in their DNA the whole thing is programmed, and in their memory the whole thing is there. They just sit and go on writing. Patanjali himself says, I took my 1,000-headed Patanjali Adisesha farm and wrote this whole Mahabhashya. It means he became the Sahasravatani. The 1,000 independent, intelligent brain tracts, he activated it. And all the whole 1,000 track revealed all the 1,000 branches of the knowledge. Patanjali is the Tamil Brahmin who is a Sahasravatani, mantra, Shastra-centric Sahasravatani. Is the Tanjore Brahmin. Shastra-centric Sahasravatani. He reveals the whole Mahabhashya. So if you just have one Patanjali, even if 1,000 libraries are burnt, no problem. They will repeat it and rewrite it, pen the whole thing down in next 10 years. That is the way, even though millions of temples are destroyed and the libraries got burned, we immediately came back. We immediately revived the whole thing in next generation, within next generation. Now is the time to revive not just the Avadani science of organ-centric, mantra-centric, Shastra and Shastra-centric, all the 25 branches of Avadani tradition. Sahasravatana in all 25 branches, the mantra, power manifestation. Power manifestation Shakti Avishkarana is one of the science branches. We can create kids who can perform 1,000 power manifestation at a time. Sahasravatana at a time. I can talk about all these things. With Paramashiva's grace, I have a right to talk about all these things because I already demonstrated many things which I am talking. Understand? The organ-centric Sahasravatana. That is what is this remote vision, ability to read blindfolded, and Shastra-centric Sahasravatana. That is what is that any book without opening the eyes, the kids can just tell what is there in which page. Already Nithyananda demonstrated this power multiple times. Sarvanyatva. Not just Nithyananda, many kids along with Nithyananda demonstrated this power multiple times. And Astra-centric, Astra-Shastra-centric Sahasravatana. This comes under this materialization. Many other power manifestations come under this Astra and Shastra-centric Sahasravatana. You can receive anything you want and send anything you want. Many of these powers, these Avadana traditions, these sciences I have demonstrated. Now, through a large-scale Gurukul, I'll be taking this whole science to the whole world. See, the good news I have for all of you is, with the grace of Paramashiva, we demonstrated it is possible. We already revived the foolproof. The methodology is success, end to end, the quality control passed. That is done. Now we will have to make it available to the whole world by making large numbers, like 10,000 balasans, 10,000 female sannyasinis, 10,000 rudraganyas, manifesting these different Avadana traditions. That is what we have to do, and that is what I am doing. That is what I am focused, and I know what all the dangers and attacks possible, what all the persecution, dangers and attacks possible. I am first doing all the protection needed to protect once I start doing this work. So understand, with the grace of Paramashiva, we will do it, and he is doing it. He is really doing it. He is doing great work in large scale. Great work in large scale. I am just creating the infrastructure needed to host these thousands of kids, thousands of Gurukul Balasans, thousands of sannyasis, Rudraganyas, Apat sannyasis, who will work on the superconscious mutation, start manifesting these powers. I'm just working. So understand, by the time I evolve these infrastructures, all of you who put the message, Shrikant, Nithyaramani, Ramesh Ramani, all of you, you guys plan for getting more and more Brahmin kids. your very DNA which you want to revive. Start working. If you feel, oh, it is little late for me, Swamiji, especially Ramesh Ramani may say, I think Swamiji, it is little late for me. But no problem. You have daughters, you have sons and daughters. You tell your daughters to give birth. Let the next generation. See, if possible, you give birth. If not, your sons and your daughters. Ask them. If you want to 2 child for your family, have 2 for you and give few more kids birth to at least 2-3 more, and let that child go and be part of the Gurukul and revive the Sanatana Hindu Dharma. I tell you, sending a child to the Gurukul will be equivalent to donating $1 billion to Hindu society. Because even if you give $1 billion, what will I do? I have to find a living DNA, kids, who will go through the superconscious mutation process and manifest this to the world. I can do all the Sahasravatana, but one person doing, maybe it will bring glory to me, but I am interested in bringing the glory to the whole Hindu tradition, not just me. I am interested in reviving this whole tradition where 10,000 kids perform the superconscious mutation process of Sahasravatana. I want all the Brahmins to know, especially if you are from a family where alcohol and non-veg is not a lifestyle, where still you keep the Brahminical traditions alive, you are carrying something extraordinary in your DNA which can revive Hinduism. So I request the Brahmins, especially still who are living the Brahminical lifestyle of no non-veg, no alcohol, that lifestyle. You all need to know you are carrying something extraordinary in your DNA, and your kids not only can be the greatest gift for reviving Hinduism, they can be greatest gift for the whole humanity. Sonali Gupta is asking, what was the Kashmir Avatani tradition? Kashmir Avatani tradition was power manifestation science. On power manifestation, Shakti Avishkarana. If you see the whole Kashmiri Shaivite tradition, it was all about the power manifestation, Shakti Avishkarana. They were able to manifest 1,000 powers at a time. Sahasravatana on Shakti Avishkarana tradition. See, a university, Hindu university, this is the way it existed. Fortunately, I could get the blueprint of at least 12 universities that existed. Tarukavanam. Tarukavanam is one of the greatest Hindu university where the rewriting of all the Puranas happened. The Tarukavana rishis. And then the Kadambavanam. Kadambavanam is around the Madurai. There was a university. Madurai was called Kadambavanam, and around the Madurai, one university. And Vedaranyam. Vedaranyam, forest of Vedas in Tamil Nadu. Vedaranyam. And Kanchi. Like that, different universities' blueprints I got. Fortunately, Paramashiva gave access to me. In that, I saw all these universities had 25 branches of Sahasravatanis. People who can perform 1,000 actions spontaneously, simultaneously, synergetically, because of the superconscious mutation, either centered on organs, or centered on Shastras, scriptures, or centered on Shakti Avishkarana, power manifestation, or centered on Astra Shastra Vidyas. Like these 25 branches, the metallurgy and arts, the whole Vishwakarma Sampradaya. Understand, we had Vishwakarmas who can perform 1,000 acts at a time on the science of sacred arts. Vishwakarmas are called Vishwakarma Brahmins. You should know that. They are Brahmin DNA. That was one of the branch in the 25 branches of the university. With Paramashiva's grace, we will revive all the 25 branches. Sahasravadanis in each branch, at least few thousand kids, so that it is kept alive forever in the future. I have already demonstrated the grace of Paramashiva, the science Paramashiva gave to me is working. I have already demonstrated. Now I just needed to scale it up. And I also realized what all the external attacks and internal attacks possible. When I scale it up, based on that, I am creating an infrastructure where once we start doing it, we will not need to waste our time in defending ourselves from the external attacks and internal attacks. We have a complete foolproof system where there is no attacks. We are absolutely safe. With the grace of Paramashiva, he has already given us that kind of a legal, political structure. Now we are just making infrastructure. And this is what is the real revival of enlightened civilization. Conscious civilization. And I know now what I said, what I focused, and what I delivered is too much even to grasp. These Avadani traditions which I described, 4 different Avadani traditions. Organ-centered, mantra-centered, Shastra-Astra-centered, sacred arts centered. Just understanding this 4 itself, you need to watch this satsang at least for 10 days. And you should first of all understand Avadani. You should see few Avadanis Only then you will understand what is this Avadani tradition. Only if you see my Gurukul Balasans manifesting some 10-12 powers, you will understand this power manifestation is possible. Till then you can never understand. You may think, no, it is not possible, it is all just humbug. You can go on. But only if you see, check for yourself, foolproof, you will understand, wow, it is all true. Same way, only if you see few Avadanis, you will understand. The Avadani tradition is possible. Is possible. And understand all these various Avadani traditions. Totally 25 different Avadani traditions existed in Hinduism, documented as the documents I could see. Whatever documents I could see, I saw these 25 traditions. So, I am going to revive this 25, and Paramashiva has blessed me with the knowledge, ability, energy, Kundalini Shakti to perform the superconscious mutation for all these 25 traditions. In these 25 traditions, each one represents one face of Paramashiva. One face of Paramashiva represents one Avadani tradition. Avadani is a person who can perform multiple acts simultaneously, spontaneously, synergetically. Because of the superconscious mutation happened in him. It can be in the field of organs. It can be in the field of Shastra scriptures. It can be in the field of power manifestation, Shakti Avishkarana. It can be in the field of Stapatya Veda, sacred arts. Stapatya Veda. It can be in the field of food and medicine, Ayurveda, Ayushveda. Food and medicine both are considered as the same branch in Hindu tradition. Food and medicine was not separate. It was one and the same in Hindu tradition. And all these 25 branches, with the grace of Paramashiva, we will be reviving through the superconscious mutation process. Paramashiva himself is here to do this work, to do this job. All the major Hindu universities we had, Naimisharanya, Tarukavana, Katambavana, Vedaranya, all these were the great universities which had all these 25 traditions, 25 Sarvanya Pitas. Understand? Temples, monasteries, gurukuls, libraries, all of them are containers. Content is this superconscious mutation process. especially if you are from a Brahmin community who's still living the Brahminical traditional lifestyle of no non-veg and no alcohol. Actually, if you don't do Gayatri, if you don't do Sandhya Vandanam, if you don't do Agnihotra Mandala also is okay. I'm not saying don't do. Even if you have not performed all of that is also okay, because that can be just revived. But the non-veg and alcohol and drugs directly affects the very DNA structure. The capacity of the DNA is lost if you allow non-veg and alcohol and drugs. If you have kept non-veg, alcohol, drugs away and lived the Brahminical lifestyle, if you just keep these three away, that Brahminical lifestyle will be more than enough. You are still carrying a powerful DNA which can be a great blessing not only for Hindus, for the whole world. Because if you give one child, for example, Paramesha, Sri Advaita and Mahadvaita gave Paramesha and Tattva to Gurukul, especially Paramesha. The way he started manifesting powers when he was a kid, it is not that now he is only one sannyasi or one inspire a lineage. I'm giving an example. If he becomes a Pitadipati, once fully able to perform Sahasravatana, 1,000 actions, he can easily perform 50 at least right now. 50 power manifestation he can perform right now, simultaneously, spontaneously, synergetically. I just need to support him with the ecosystem, and it will be just hardly 2-3 years work for him to become 1,000 Sahasravatani in power manifestation, in Shakti Avishkarana. Because he's a Tamil Brahmin, the Tanjavur Brahmin DNA, he will be naturally centered on mantra, the Shastra, scripture centric Sahasravatani, that he will naturally manifest with the power manifestation. Because power manifestation directly I am giving. So you will be able to do both, like a power manifestation Sahasravatana and mantra, Shastra manifestation Sahasravatana. Both you will be able to easily perform. So when he does that, if he becomes a Pidadipati, a sannyasi, he will be inspiring millions of the next generation to become sannyasis and take this science forward. If he decides to become Grihastha, when he grows up and if he decides he wants to get married, at least his whole family and the lineage, that Karuvali Parambarai, will start carrying the same awakened superconscious mutation DNA. Anyway, he will be blessing for the world. If he takes up Grihastha, he will be making few kids manifesting. If he becomes sannyasi, he will be making few thousand kids manifesting this Sahasravatana. That's all. Understand? What I am talking is a clear Paramashiva's blueprint. He will do it. He is doing it. He is doing it. I tell you, the real work is all about super conscious mutation. Actually, when Paramesha had a fracture in the hand, it is because of my fear for Madhvait and Rishiyadvait, I sent him to hospital. If there was no interference of Madhvait and Rishiyadvait, I would not have sent him to hospital. Because I know how to heal it simply, just by the superconscious mutation. But Madhvait is terrorized. What can I do? I have to be legally right as per the Indian law. So I said, all right, take him to hospital and do what need to be done. I only consciously supported him. If I did not have Mahadvait, Rishiyadvait's interference, all it would have taken for me is 10 minutes to remove the pain, next 10 minutes to make the bone set. And after half an hour, I'll tell them, hey, now take the X-ray and show that it's all clear. The X-ray will prove he's all right, it's all clear. That's it. No question of any other things needed. Because this Avadana tradition, when the superconscious mutation starts happening inside a child, he gets the power to manifest the body as he wants. Paramesha did not have pain when he had a fracture, his connection with me. But he has to be sent to hospital for medical attention is because of Mahadvait and Rishiyadvait's fears. Middle class Hindus, what to do? For last 5-6 generations, even they do not know that this kind of avadana is possible, and even they have not seen their parents or great-grandparents manifesting these powers. At least 3-4 generations it is gone. So they are all jittery, shaky, middle-class Hindus. Always they want to have a plan B, that fallback. And it is not their mistake. That is the way now, because for so many generations you did not see all this is possible. Forget about Mahadvait, Rishiyadvait, Paramesha getting medically treated. When I had the fracture, not only I did not have pain, but finally, no hospital was ready to do the surgery without anesthesia. I am telling, hey, I am an adult. I will write and give you that I don't want anesthesia. You perform the surgery directly. Actually, I did not even want to go to the allopathy hospital. I want to go to the Puttur. In Tamil Nadu, there is a place called, sorry, not Tamil Nadu, Andhra. There is a place called Puttur, Nagari Puttur, where the Sahasravadanis of medical field, in that one branch is still alive. Any kind of fracture, they will cure it without any surgery in 10 days. From all over the world, people come there. I want to go there actually. But these guys were constantly, these doctors, no, we cannot discharge you from the hospital and it has to be done within next few hours. All this big mess, and I thought, oh God, even I have to be legally obedient. Obey legally. Even I cannot go through the surgery without anesthesia. That was. But what to do? When you are in a country, you have to go through their legal system. Actually, the moment I had the fracture, I told my disciples, hey, drive to Nagari Puttur directly. Don't go to Bangalore. But somehow these fellows said, no, Swamiji, let's first take the X-ray and know where the fracture is exactly and take it to the Nagari Puttur so that they will repair it. We will go to hospital only for diagnosis, but treatment we will go to Nagari Puttur. But once you enter the hospital, they say, no, we can't discharge you. You are a VIP. And the hospital will get the bad name if we send you out. Then I said, all right, perform at least surgery without anesthesia. But the law is law. They said, no, it's a law of the land. They have to first of all report to police, and they have to report to government because the VIP having a hand fracture, and they are answerable to any of the repercussions or outcomes anyhow. But I tell you, only when I demonstrate the powers of the superconscious mutation, world will realize the greatest gift Hindus are having, which need to be shared with the whole world. This will be the greatest gift Hindus will be giving to the whole world. I'll continue with my initiations into superconscious mutation in the further sessions. Today I wanted to reveal the blueprint, Paramashiva's blueprint. In the further satsangs, I'll give you detailed initiations. So, with this, I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Shuddhatvaita Saivam, Paramadvaitam, the state, space, powers, being, superconsciousness, and Kailasa of Paramashiva, Paramashivoham, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, the eternal bliss, Maha Kailasa of Paramashiva, Paramashivoham, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, the eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Thank you. Be blissful. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyanandam, Jnanapatati Manual, under the guidance of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadusham Tattvamasyaadilakshya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. The science of our manifestation is authentic, time-tested, scientific, and foolproof. The Pramanas, the Shastra Pramana, the authentic scriptures, Shrutis, Vedagama stand as a foundation for Hinduism. Apta Pramana, authentic, time-tested, foolproof compilation of the experience of the sages, rishis, and enlightened masters, which is in terms with the Shastra Pramana. Atma Pramana, with Apta Pramana, a guru is able to experience and live the truth claimed by the Shastras. Shakshi Pramana, manifestation and experience of Guru's initiation in a disciple of a particular lineage, which is demonstrable to the world. And Pratyaksha Pramana, having the truth validated by the scientific study. Bhagavan gives us pramanas for each of the power manifestation to understand the deeper truth, deeper science of how the superconscious mutation can manifest as powers and our physical reality. For the power of breath dimension, the scriptural references from Shiva Sutra, Sutra 1.19, Shakti Sandhane Sariropatihi, Bhagavan Paramashiva beautifully explains, by aiming and fixing the self on Shakti, uniting in oneness with the supreme power, the embodiment of that which is cognized and willed, manifest at once as length, breadth, depth, time, and space. Bhagavan has beautifully explained for us to understand how the avadanis happen, how the brain is able to reflect the superconscious into our physical reality. Our mind is constantly deluded with what we understand as reality, only from the sensory that we learn things. And Bhagavan clearly said how we can learn from just downloading all this greater truth and be an avadani to manifest all the powers of Paramashiva in such a beautiful way, synchronous way. Length, the earth element, the breath, the liquid, the much more creativity element, breath dimension, the depth, the fire element itself, and the time and space, the air and the ether element. All this constantly, when we understand how it functions and how we can go beyond our what we define as our perception to understand the superconscious mutation, the higher dimension, higher intelligence. This is a whole science of becoming more and more intelligent so that we can function our life in much more clarity and much more higher way of existing, to create all this great science which was there in the Hinduism and which was taught to the world, and all this rich culture was the way the humanity existed. We invented greater things like nuclear power and the power of creating plastics. All that was great, but the wisdom is not there, and that itself destroys us, and continuously more and more destruction is happening. These avadanis were the higher manifestation where they could really bring the science of higher way of existence, and each one of us can experience that. That is the most beautiful thing. It's a science. Science means it is repeatable and anybody can manifest that in our own way in our existential reality. And here Bhagavan beautifully says, by aiming and fixing the self and uniting in oneness, the again and again the Shakti Avadanis that Bhagavan is clearly saying how they manifested powers just by surrendering their will and letting the Paramashiva to flow in them. Such a beautiful thing how Tyagaraja was initiated by Narada Muni, even in the not Valmiki Ramayana or Mahabharata Veda Vyasa, even in the current century of Tyagaraja, because Tyagaraja beautifully sings of the Narada Muni, how he initiated him into this great Carnatic music and how he started singing on Parandama. All this greater truth even now exists for who is ready to learn this science, and how we can demonstrate this science in our physical reality, living in the rich culture of Hinduism, of how we can experience this greater science. And that was the superpowers which started manifesting for the one who has cognized and will, not just a desire, but is able to cognize it. Like what cognition is, we already know it. And what desire is, just we want it. Want is not equal to what is known. And we understand this science when we are ready to surrender our identity at Bhagavan's lotus feet, where he can make us experience the superconscious mutation, which is nothing but raising our frequency into the higher dimensions. Raising our frequency, if you have 2G phone, how it will be vibrating, only some part of the data you can receive. And you cannot have a video download, you cannot do so many things. But if you have a 5G, you can do so many things. more data can be received inside the phone. Same thing was the Avadani science, where you vibrate in the higher frequency of your guru, and because of the initiation, you are able to grasp the bigger picture, higher dimensions, where you can manifest the higher signs as your reality. If you're stuck with your incompletions and all your obsessive compulsive patterns, which is only input from outer world, which is only the reactionary space, we are stuck with a very low frequency, and we create more and more chaos for ourselves and others, not understanding these great signs that was available that we can experience as reality. Beautifully, Bhagwan gives the signs of how Ekalavya, he was one of the greatest archer that we all know, and how when he was rejected by Dronacharya because Dronacharya was busy with all the royal children to teach the greater science of Astra and Shastra Avadanis, and he was not able to focus on Ekalavya. So Ekalavya was able to create the same Drona in a mold, and he was able to understand that Dronacharya as his guru, as God. So when you assign anything that is your God and start vibrating in a higher frequency, you will start downloading whatever that person or that can download inside you. That is how they understood the science of everything, whether it is sun, moon, or anything they wanted. All they need to do is vibrate in the same frequency of that, and then they could download the data what it had into them. So when he vibrated with Dronacharya, the frequency, the higher frequency, because of his deep devotion and bhakti, and that he held Dronacharya as literally God, and he was able to download the Astra and Shastra science and manifest that as the power of the Avadani of Astra Shastra. That was clearly documented in Mahabharata book Adi Parva, and all this greater truth was available to humanity, and more they could manifest more powers of Paramashiva. Bhagwan has beautifully given us initiation for us to experience this deeper truth. Here, Bhagwan speaks on how he was vibrating with Lord Ganesha at the age of 3 to download this super science.
Memory also. You can complete your biomemory also. I'll give you from my own experience. At the age of 3, I think my 3rd birthday, this is the turning point in my life. 3rd birthday, when my father and grandfather, both of them were carrying me to the temple. In villages, they will carry the kid on the shoulder or on the chest. Usually my grandfather will carry me to temple. That day, because my birthday, my father also came. When I say grandfather, my mother's father. My father's father passed away before even my father's marriage. Of course, in India you get kids usually after marriage. So I wanted to clarify. Usually it will be. So, even though my grandfather is a great devoted person, he's a miser, he won't spend money. So many times when my grandfather carries me to the temple, I will show the shops outside temple where they sell small Ganeshas, small deities. I'll show my hand and ask, I want Ganesha, I want Ganesha. But my grandfather will never buy and give. That day my father was also there. My father is not a great devotee kind of a person, but a spendthrift. And the moment I asked, he said, come on, I'll buy and give you. He bought it. He will spend left and right. And lot of spending for pride. See how I treat people, how I keep people. That pride spending, lot of pride spending. So he bought it and gave me the Ganesha. I literally started living with that Ganesha. That means morning when I wake up, I'll wake him up. And then when I brush the teeth, I'll brush his teeth also. You can see the deity is still there. His whole tusk, everything is gone. Because I had a small brush. In those days, if you buy the Colgate paste, they will give you a free toothbrush along with that paste. And if it is a child toothbrush, they will give two. It will be only this size, two brush. So when you get two brush, one for me and one for Ganesha. And kar. I also used to think it's a big task, so I have to clean. When I brush the teeth, I'll brush his teeth also. When I wash myself, I'll wash him. When I take bath, I'll give him bath. After that, when I put on the clothes, I'll put him clothes. When I sit and eat, I'll also feed him. Means giving nivedya. No school those days, so there's no routine. But I'll go around and play with him, with that Ganesha. I'll make a small chariot for him and put him and drive him around, and then I'll do some abhishekam, I'll do some alankaram. Whole day I'll be playing with him. You can see the deity. Whole day I'll be literally playing with him. He became part of me. Please understand. He is no more a stone for me. He is a life for me. If your child is playing with Barbie doll, then you will understand what I am saying. For a child, that Barbie doll is a member of the family. She is not toy or doll away from her life, just alive, family member. Same way, this Ganesha was part of me. Continuously taking care, feeling. This Ganesha has become my cognition, part of my cognition. Please understand. He has become part of my cognition. One day I went to the temple. In the temple, usually there will be a lot of people coming and giving some discourses. The Arunachaleshwara temple is such a beautiful place. In 365 days of a year, almost 300 days there will be some festival or other.
Let's go to Shakshi Pramana. Here we have a devotee. Beautiful Bhagwan said how he was connected to the Lord Ganesha beyond what he could see just as a stone or a metal. He was able to connect to the deity and download that very space that he was able to vibrate in, the higher frequency that Lord Ganesha lived with him, played with him. And such a beautiful completion space. Here Dr. Peter is beautifully explaining how he was put into the new task of the not just yoga asanas, new asanas, also the Kundalini Raju and the Malakamba, where he discovered himself as learning this great science from Bhagwan.
Who has experienced the yoga for the first.
So we're talking about yoga, and I'm doing MSS, Parashakti program, and we have 3 types of yoga that we get to do. And I've had a breakthrough in all 3 of them in the last couple of days. So I'll just go breakthrough by breakthrough. First is mat yoga, regular asana yoga. This is not as you know it in the West though, because it's done with the authentic scriptures. In Sanskrit chanted as we do the asanas. But the breakthrough that I had today is handstand. Just for the first time in the last few days, I'm just standing upside down on my hands and holding it with no one holding me anything for a few seconds at a time. And I know the muscle memory is developing, so soon I'll just do that regularly. It's a big breakthrough. Next is Shivastamba Yoga. I could do lots of things because I've done it before, but I was unable to stand. Every time I would go to stand, I would get freaked out. And this time I decided, no, I'm just going to do it. And so I had that feeling of getting freaked out and just said, why do it slow and get all worried? And then I was like, let's just do it. And it's of course a metaphor for life, because we're all scared to do all these things. And you just do it. And in Lapa Swamiji, as soon as you do that, he pulls out the muscle memory and biomemory that's keeping you from just doing it in the first place. So the second time is just easy. Every time you push yourself here, it's like everything that gets brought up, the fear you go through, all of that gets brought up, he just pulls it out. And so then the next time it just becomes easy. That's why you can expand so quickly. And then today we did Kundalini Raja Yoga. For the first time is rope yoga. And it was just, the first time I did, I'm like a heart monkey, so the first time I did, I was just going dunk, 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 and just climb all the way up to the top and touch the top. And because I had never done it before and I never held the rope between my toes, I know it's doing things and I can feel like the Kundalini being activated. So then I did some poses.
Let you all open all your 3 eyes.
Sorry for the technical glitch. Beautifully, he was explaining, sorry for the audio quality, he was explaining he has never done before, and just by Bhagwan's initiation, he could manifest the Kundalini Raju and the Shivastamba Yoga. And that was all the Bhagwan beautifully says. Either your yogic body can trigger the mind. When you do the yoga, the body itself changes, and that change triggers the mind. Like Bhagwan says, your shoulder should be that broad and your hip should be as the length of your palm, like this. And if it is the ratio, it is maintained, and your body changes as per yoga, the way you perceive the world also changes. So through yoga, you can have a beautiful mind, or through mind, you can sculpt the body also. Here, the science, Bhagwan is beautifully saying that how the organs or the astra, shastra, or power manifestation can be demonstrated by anybody. All this great science are available for all of us, and especially kids can catch it up. And these were the Hindu university which were offered all these courses, and this was a science which was there in Hinduism. Now the science need to be revived, and that is Bhagwan's grace. It's all getting revived one by one, and he is teaching us the foundational science by these power manifestation, how to experience that superconscious mutation in our brain and have a glimpse of these great powers in our regular life. And when we become more and more intelligent, obviously we will be manifesting that in our work, in our life, and bringing more clarity and more depth. Makes your life more beautiful because you can attract the right thing in the right way without any root shocks or unconscious decisions. Here Bhagwan beautifully gives us how we can manifest. Today we are going to work with art. Any form of art, writing poetry, or you playing an instrument, or you drawing something, you can do that just by listening to it only once. And after that, close it and start drawing the picture or sculpting it or writing the song or painting a diagram, whatever you think you're comfortable with. You can play with the arch today, the breath dimension, just by having one glimpse of the whole thing. And after that, we'll verify whether it is correct. All that you can also do is apply the Jnananjan on your third eye, on your temple, and on the Paramashiva Shila, and use the Paramashiva Shila to see the content. Whether you want to listen to music, you can listen to the tune from the Paramashiva Shila, the granite slab, or you can see the picture and draw that also through your third eye. Absolutely, you can experience the greater reality that exists. All that it takes is you to vibrate in higher frequency to download more data. And that science is what Bhagavan is teaching us here, and he is there more real than us, downloading that in each of us during the Kailash courtyard, because he is conducting this whole science for each one of us. So you can pick up the instruments and then you can just visualize Paramashiva, Parashakti, or you can visualize the Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, any of them who is manifesting through you as your reality. Get into that bhava, that oneness with them. You are them. It is not you are different and they are different. You are them and you are manifesting them. And like Bhagavan beautifully says, in your dream, you're seeing your mother. Is the real mother there, or the mother is sleeping in her cot? It is your version of your mother in your dream. The same way you have darshans of Bhagavan in your dream. Is Bhagavan there, or your Bhagavan is somewhere else? Your own self projected as Bhagavan himself in your dream. That is the closest you experience Bhagavan's initiation is in your dream. Same way here also, you are gods and goddesses, and you are that. Once you realize in parallel universe you exist as gods and goddesses, you can manifest that in your physical reality. And clearly all we need to do is chant the Mahavakya, and intense listening will bring you to the complete completion, not engaging in your thoughts. The minute you bring the thoughtless space and chant the Mahavakya to raise your frequency, you are in the higher frequency where Bhagavan can download any of the instruments or any of the lyrics or the diagram in you to manifest in your physical reality, map it to your physical reality. Your brain starts functioning to really grasp the greater science into your brain, the reflection of pure consciousness in your brain. Because of your deep surrender and bhakti to your Guru, you can experience this greater science as a reality. So all we are going to do is chant the Mahavakya, intensely connect to Bhagavan, surrender to Bhagavan. The Guru is all that we have to experience, and experience the oneness. Simply he will manifest in us as reality, raising us to the superconscious mutation level. Because of the initiation that we received, we can experience this as our physical reality gift from Paramashiva. So all we are going to do is chant the Mahavakya intensely with a deep listening in gratitude, and whatever Bhagavan is downloading, and put it in a paper, and at the end you can verify the detail. If you're playing your instrument or you have the mudra that you want to experience as your reality, you can take pictures or you can record it and verify that at the end of the session. So let's start chanting the Mahavakya, getting into that oneness space, the Nirvikalpa Samadhi space, where you are completely thoughtless, but you are in such awareness and you are in such a joy and oneness with Paramashiva and gratitude, in deep love and compassion, in peace. So more and more establish yourself in gratitude, in peace, and chant the Mahavakya with a deep listening to manifest the power of breath dimension. Let's start.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vanni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Vanni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Slowly, very slowly, you can open your eyes, or whatever instrument you're playing, whatever video you have recorded, or you can take the picture and verify the details of that and share it in the tinyurl.com/power manifestation. All this greater science, when it manifests in our physical reality as the manifestation of Paramashiva's presence in each one of us, and more we are able to manifest even a single note or just a single line, we'll start understanding that Paramashiva is more real in our life than our senses, than everything that we are perceiving in the outer world. This is a beautiful science that Bhagavan is giving us, and sharing that, Bhagavan says, enriching and causing, is much more powerful than any tapas that you can do. And it's so powerful that it can make you manifest more powers. If you're not manifesting, or if you're manifesting inconsistently, the best thing that you can do is cause others to start living the Charya Pada and come for satsang, getting initiated and manifest powers. You will see simply you will manifest more and more power manifestation. Because the science, if you believe in, you will surely share it with the world. And if you believe, then obviously you're going to manifest more deeper truth as the reality. All this is a greater science available for all of us. And how these lessons demonstrate, we can also demonstrate when we are more aligned to it. With that, let's surrender all this powerful cognition, power manifestation at Bhagwan's lotus feet in deep gratitude, thanking Bhagwan for all the gifts from KAILASA for each one of us every single day. And thanking all of you who are staying back to manifest powers of Paramashiva, Guruvak as life. That's the best thing that you can do to yourself. With that, let's now end the session with the Purna Mantra. Let's sit straight with the head, neck and spine in a straight line. Bring Paramashiva to your third eye. Hold the powerful space. Paramashiva is real in my thought, word and action. Seeing Paramashiva in everything and everyone continuously throughout the day. Holding that as our powerful cognition. Let's chant the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Padukarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you so much. The next session we'll have the Kalabhairava Darshan in the morning. So after that there'll be power manifestation, and after that we'll have at 6 p.m. in Zoom, as you can join in through eCitizen for more power manifestation. Thank you, Nithyanandam.